Okay, this is then the purifying water required practical, right? And it comes in two parts. It comes analysing the water, and it also comes up with the technique of purifying a sample of water. Basically, you're purifying it to make it safe to drink. Right, equipment first. So what we've got is, because you're using heat, you've got safety goggles. Pure distilled water, universal indicator solution or paper, that's then to test the pH. Salt solution or mineral bottled water, Bunsen burner, which is obviously at the bottom, tripod, gauze, heatproof mat, haven't got a heatproof mat, let's draw one on. Evaporating basin, which is there, and then a mass balance, which I'll then draw, right, very, very high quality one with a little decimal point there. That's then your mass balance. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at analysing a sample of water. Now we're not going to huge depths about what minerals and things in there, right? All we're going to do is we're going to look at the pH and the amount of solid matter in. So first thing we'll do is we'll use the universal indicator to measure the pH of the water sample. And it could be something like about 8. It's probably more likely going to be 7, right? Which is pretty much neutral. The second thing we're then going to do is we're then going to look at the solid matter in our sample of water. So first thing we'll do is we'll get an evaporating basin and we will weigh it. So what we've got is we've got the weight of the empty evaporating basin. Then we'll put 10 centimetre cubed of water sample in. So there's our 10 centimetre cubed of water, and then we'll weigh it again. And what we can do the blue way, take away the purple way, right? And then what we've got is we've got the mass of water. Then we heat it. Okay, so let's do that in red, right? So we've got our water bath there that is gradually heating the evaporating basin, so all the water then comes off. Once there's only a little bit left, right, then leave it and let it evaporate all on its own. Okay, when it's all evaporated and it's cooled down, right, what we've then got is, I'll just do it in purple again, so what we've then got is we've got our evaporating basin, which isn't bigger than the previous one, but in the bottom of it this time, what we've got is we've got our solid matter. Weigh it. So to then work out exactly how much you've got of the solid matter, right, what you can do is you can do the purple way, which is the empty one, right, or do the black one rather, take away the purple one, and then you've got the mass of solid. Once you've actually got the mass of solid, you can then work out the percentage of solid in the water, which is then the mass of the solid divided by the mass of the water times 100. Right, that'll then give you the percentage solid within that water sample. The second one is we've then just sort of analysed it very, very briefly. Now we're going to look at distilling it to try and make it into pure water. The things you're going to need in this is you're going to need a conical flask, you're going to need a delivery tube, then you're going to need sort of like an ice bath at the bottom there, right, which then cools down the liquid. Right, so the way this works now is purifying it, place the water sample in the conical flask, which is there. Heat the water with a Bunsen burner until it boils, right? And so what's happening then is the water is then boiling in here, it's going down the delivery tube into this ice bath, and then the purified water or distilled water then appears there. Okay, collect about 1 centimetre the depth of water and then stop heating. Right, what you can then do is you can then analyse it slightly further, right, by boiling it and determine the boiling point. If it is pure water, it will boil at exactly 100 degrees C. Now the other method of doing this is using something called a Liebig condenser, which is Liebig condensor, right, which works exactly the same way. So what you do is you heat it up. Here's your water sample inside the round bottom flask. The boiled water goes up into this condenser, and instead of like being an ice bath, what it is, it's like a jacket of water that cools it down, and your distillate of pure water comes out at the end. Right, but you've got to remember that as soon as a liquid or water is impure in any sort of way, it will not boil at 100 degrees C. So it's only pure water boils at 100 degrees C. Right, you've got two methods, right? We are analysing. Okay, so what we've done is we've analysed, right? Looking at the solid matter, looking at the pH, and we've also purified. Okay, so what we theoretically should have then is we should have 100% pure water.
So now you've watched the required practicals. Now what you've got is instructions about what you have to do. If you're unsure about anything to do with the video, then you need to go back through it. In the exercise books, don't write out the questions themselves. For shorter answers, just write out the answers that you're using in the question, Longer answers, do a plan, make sure you get the right order, and then bullet point or small, precise paragraphs. Don't do long reams of writing, it's not the way to do it. The questions are then on the next slide. Pause the video, and then when you've written the questions, review and see if it all makes